here we are, ladies and gentlemen, back for another live broadcast from the Duncan Showroom. And this week, it's not on a Tuesday night dress rehearsal Tuesday. It is Flow for the Love of Words, hosted by this wonderful gentleman, Bill Levity. Come on, you guys in the audience can clap. Jeez. Now, I don't know if I've told you this or if you've noticed it, but I've been wearing glasses since the beginning of January.
Full time?
Full time. As a matter of fact, I left them at home the other day, and I was like, the dollar store ones don't work anymore. I couldn't see, even though it was a bit cloudy with these sometimes. They are those progressive ones.
They're description glasses.
Description, yeah. But they're progressive.
Yes.
Which means a lot of people think I'm agreeing with them when in fact I'm just trying to focus.
You know? Do you ever trip going upstairs?
All the time with these. More going downstairs.
Right. Ooh, that's dangerous. Yeah.
You just can't see.
Oh, no.
You know, I've already told a few people in the audience, but I'm going to tell it again.
Oh, joy. Go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah. Is this your moment?
It's about the placement of words.
All right. Good.
There was a gentleman here last week who performed, who was thirsty for a beer after the show, so I took him over to the brew pub.
That was generous of you.
I thought he was kind of a gentle, quiet guy, but he cracked this silly joke, which sort of made me chuckle and made me wonder just about should I chuckle or not. And that was, what do you do with the epileptic who is having a seizure in a bathtub?
What?
You throw in your laundry.
Oh.
Which is like, yeah, that's it. It was a groaner, right? But the guy at the table next to us overheard us and got quite upset because he'd been there for a little while longer than us. And he started yelling and screaming and bitching about that he had a brother who was epileptic who died in a bathtub, and we should be more careful. And I said, well, did he drown? He said, no, he choked on a sock.
Ooh. We really need to start you a comedy night. Oh.
See, it's about the placement of words.
It's a groaner.
He's a sit-down comedian.
He is a sit-down comedian.
So how you been, Bill?
Very good. Busy.
Busy. You know what you were doing? Bill, as we know as a thespian and as a writer and a poet, singer-songwriter as well, not only and a what do you call it, construction guy. Bill sings. Played here last week on a singer-songwriter panel.
I did.
Which was really quite interesting to see Bill get up into that part of his life again. And you know, he should be doing more of it.
It's
too bad we can't
thespians.
play instruments tonight while you're singing, while you're talking.
Apparently that's the code, yeah.
That's a code.
All right.
But I heard you're going to sing anyway.
I'm going to do a spoken song for sure.
Have you been? Did you see those ones I sent you?
No. Did you send me something? I'm always leery.
Did I send it to you, Tim?
I'm leery of.
There's been some guys that are like just really serious thespians.
Yeah.
Who take songs just too deep.
Oh, that one, yes.
And they read them so slow with intent. Oh. And it's like Reverend Rick Dennis came for the flow.
Oh, yeah.
Many times. And his one was, it's been a hard day's night.
Oh, so good.
You know, I've been working like a dog.
It's been a hard day's night. He was so great, though. Yeah,
and I've been working like a dog. But you know what? When I get home to you, the things you do.
Ooh.
Makes me feel all right. Take any song you like and see what you can do with it. But right now, I'm going to give it up for Bill Levity. Give it up for him.
All right. Thank you. This that was Longevity John. How about a hand for him? He's the proprietor. And for those of you who haven't been to as many other wonderful events, you must take a schedule and come and support this place. Or you can support it online and contribute through PayPal or whatever it is. So please, help keep this place alive. And the master behind the controls, Dr. Ted Cadillac, give him a huge hand. Why, when we've done some theater in here, pretty amazing. We've done a couple of pantomimes. We did Hamlet here, beautiful version of Hamlet. And Ted is up there working the sound with his hands, and with his foot he works the lights, and he's pretty amazing when we do theater here. Anyhow, so I shall begin. This is a quote. I sense the world might be more dreamlike, metaphorical and poetic than we currently believe, but just as irrational as sympathetic magic when looked at in a typically scientific way. I wouldn't be surprised if poetry in the broadest sense, in the sense of a world filled with metaphor, rhyme, and recurring patterns, shapes, and designs, is how the world works. The world isn't logical, it's a song. Care to guess? Any guesses? Guess who wrote that? That wasn't me. Psycho Killer, that's your hint. David Byrne wrote that, yeah. Nice, eh? Good imagery, David. This one, it happened to me in a dream. Sometimes at this age, perhaps there's more love making in your dreams than in the daytime. I don't know how you guys are doing. I did not mean to dream a false dream, sunlight coming in at dawn to disturb me, first light in many days, and those eyes bewitching. Now I am lost to myself again, seeking sense and yearly fruits forbidden to those desert lodgings in which I've held myself. My longing for the kiss, she darts her tongue, fair serpent, I dive upon her, devouring, not in a fortnight of rolling in her arms could I satiate this hunger. She is bewitching. She came to visit last night for the first time in 6 years. Just rolled over and bam, there were those eyes. Eating a hole in my heart, she said, nothing. Then that little cat-like smile, and she stuck out her tongue, darting it around playfully. Bam! There we were, kissing and rolling on the floor. I tried to get as much of her into my mouth as I could. No telling when she'd visit again. Betsy LeBlanc, damn it. Why now? I haven't woken up with a like that in a long while. We were playing all the old nude theater improv games. Damn it, she is a peach. We don't actually play nude theater improv games, but we should. Why not? That's right. Spoken song, yes. So I get to play this one. Two very good songwriters, Karen McCandless and Mike Berman. So this song comes from my childhood. I grew up in Brantford, born in Stratford, hence the thespian roots. But then I moved to Brantford when I was 3.5, and my first experience on ice was on bob skates that had 2 blades on each boot. So a little more balance, but you still have the kitchen chair you'd be pushing around. In Brantford at that time, 1963, the winter was, 5 months long, and they'd get out. I lived on a crescent, this nice teardrop-shaped park, so they'd get out the 2x4s, flood the rink. There was a single light, little box with the hose, which you had to keep unfrozen. So we just skate and skate for so many hours, and of course, with that much snow, once they plowed the roads, there was a hard crust of snow, and you could skate on the road. And when we were feeling really adventurous, we'd skate 3 blocks down to the elementary school where there's a bigger rink with higher boards. And then there'd be that phenomena where the snow would melt a little bit, and then you'd get a freeze, so there'd be a crust on the top of the snow, and you could skate absolutely frickin' everywhere. So the song is sort of about that. Here you go, Laura. This is for you. I'm attempting spoken song. Okay, I'll take the gum out. Hard snow, country ice, frozen roads, and I'm traveling twice as fast. Hold on to the edges as I skate out over the fields of snow. It's 2 feet deep and crusty hard on top of white powder. Dig down, you'll find it, sweet under the edges as I skate out over the frozen fields. My daddy's out there flooding the rink. I'll stay till I'm frozen, I'll stay too long, 'cause I'm crazy for skating. Yeah, I'm crazy for the speed, come on, let's go. I love playing hockey, the stick on the puck. I love the excitement as the big guys go whizzing past. Hold on to the edges for a chance to shoot the puck one day. 'Cause I'll be 2 feet taller when I score my first goal, they say. I'll be part of the magic. I'll be dreaming of the NHL someday. Come on now, break away over the open fields. You got your chance. Now skate away over the frozen fields. I got so many layers on I can't count. Wool mittens and my long johns too, but I'll still freeze my butt off as I skate out over the frozen fields. Into the snowbank, chasing the puck. I knock David over, I'm way too rough, 'cause the cold is alive, and I'm free out on those frozen fields of snow. There's Mama calling for supper time. It's getting dark, but I'm starting to fly. Stick handle like John Bellevaux. My hair's flying back just like Yvonne Cornwallis. I'll play until I'm good. I'm going to master the puck on wood. I'm going to have a slap shot just like Bobby Hull. Why don't you wait and see? Yeah, I'll play till I'm worn out, skating over the frozen fields of snow. I'll stay till I'm frozen, till I can't get my skates undone. Come on now, break away over the frozen fields. You got your chance now, skate away over the fields of snow. Woo! Thank you. Thank you. And a really short one. Yeah, it is tricky when if you're used to playing something, it's weird to get your head around speaking it. As too much tequila, whiskey, and wine, I saw that cowboy dancing with you, baby, and I thought that you were mine. My head ran a fever, my blood ran cold. I didn't mean to kill him. Angelina, don't cry. Just saddle my pony and bring me my gun. There's trouble coming, and I am the one. Like a tumbleweed blowing, I have to fly. Now don't say a word, Angelina, don't cry. When I cross the borderline, I will send for you. In a little bit of time, when things get quiet, I'll get a message through. When we cross the borderline, we can start brand new, just me and you. So hush, my little darling, don't say a word. Just kiss me goodbye, Angelina, don't cry. Don't cry, Angelina, just take my hand. There's a restless wind blowing on the Rio Grande. The stars are shining like your diamond eyes. Don't cry, Angelina, just kiss me goodbye. Thank you. That's a song written by Don Wilkie, and I have, thank you, two lines in there, so he claims it's a co-write, not really. But I've been playing it for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and I play it differently than he wrote it, so I'm trying to work it up so it's good enough to play in front of him. And that's the big goal, really, is like that I won't worry about, and he'll probably, jump in with some slide guitar part, but that's the goal, is to play it in front of the writer. Whew. Okay, let's get into it. George, you're fresh, you're new, you look keen, so come on up.
Right.
Let's hear it, George.
Just a mini introduction we do. It's not a full-on interview. Don't be nervous. George, where are you from?
Ottawa.
Ottawa. My
yeah.
siblings live in Ottawa.
Born and raised in Timmins and moved
Ooh.
to Ottawa. Been there for quite a while.
Mining country. And have you guys, I was going to say repositioned. Have you moved out here?
Oh, we're looking at
Nice.
at the island. We actually have a business, a wellness business,
Great.
and it's called canmwellness.com.
Right.
And we think that the island would be a great place to establish a foothold.
It's beautiful. Little
Yeah,
less
it's a great
talking in
place.
the audience, please. My goodness, what a disruptive crowd.
Yeah.
I enjoy your enthusiasm.
That's okay.
Well, welcome, George. I was just back to see my siblings in September.
Yes.
So I still have strong connections to Ontario. Ontariable, as Tim says.
Ontario.
Welcome.
Very good. Okay. I have a little poem tonight that is gradually getting evolved into being a song. And the poem is about a monkey who has a bit of a change in lifestyle. So it's about a zoo and a monkey, and I hope you enjoy it. So it's called The Animal Zoo, and it's just a zoo tune. I want to welcome all of you to our new imaginary zoo. Welcome to Mother Nature's fair. All God's creatures are there. We have a message from God above. We are all made of light and love. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Love is coming to you. Welcome to Mother Nature's fair. All God's creatures are there. Rabbits, wolves, eagles, and deer. All God creatures are here. Hey, look over there. Can you see that bear? Hey, can you see that cool parrot? The one up there eating a carrot. Please give me all your attention, and we'll play with our imagination. Look up, and you'll see in a nearby apple tree, it's Laura's apple tree, two lovebirds cooing, two cooing lovebirds, cuddling up and sharing soft words. Now listen, off in the distance. Listen, off in the distance there's more sound, and for instance, the hyenas are laughing and howling, and a zebra's stomach is growling. And a large yawn from a young lioness, she's dreaming about a new blue dress. Over yonder, a bold-faced baboon is belting out a romantic tune, hoping his girl will soon swoon, all by the light of the jungle moon. We have a message from God above. We're all made of light and love. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Love is coming to you. Again, the monk, he's getting drunk. Crazy monk, he jumps on an elephant's trunk. Suddenly the elephant has a big sneeze and drops down flat on his knees. Oh no, is this the end of the monk? Well, that was what we thunk. But suddenly, tipsy old monk pops out and lets out a silly drunken shout. The elephant ride was good for a laugh. Now I'm going to go ride on a giraffe. Next we see monkey chasing honeybees in the very tops of the acacia trees. We love that crazy monkey monk guy. He makes us laugh so hard we cry. Monkey finally took some time to think, to really think, and decided to give up the drink. Monkey said, to save my monkey butt, I'm going to become a real health nut. I learned the hard way about alcohol. Getting drunk is no longer my end all. When God answered my frantic call, I realized drugs were really nothing at all. So Monk is now thinking differently because a new truth has set him free. This message came to Monk from above. Honor friends, honor family, and honor love. The only life for me, says Monk, that makes good sense is a life of good deeds and good conscience. So Monkey turned and confessed to me, I tell you now with pure sincerity, no more monkey shines for me, no more moonshine for this monkey. My mission is love my friends, love my family. This lesson of love has set me free. I resolved to simply love my family. To love my friends and love myself, love yourself. That's the greatest form of personal wealth. So now I've dropped my life of lies. It was about time. I stopped doing drugs and stopped doing petty crime. Somehow everything just fell into line when I got it, that we're all born divine. So Monk took a long look about and let out a soulful shout. Creatures of all kind, keep this truth in mind. Here's a message from a sober monk. God will never ever make any junk. I learned my lesson from God above. We're all made of light and love. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Love is coming to you. Thank you. You know what? I have a short song about a cowboy. The cowboy breaks up with his girlfriend Faye and talks to his buddies and say, "What am I going to do?" So let me just go back and just give you a little story about this. This is called basically this is a cattle drive is his friend's solution to a breakup. So let's see what happens. Okay, here's the cattle drive. I got mud in my boots and dirt in my jeans, and I'm getting tired of wieners and beans. I wonder if I'll ever survive this darn old cattle drive. I told my buds I broke up with Faye. They said, you got to get away. They said, go try doing a cattle drive. But after 1 week, I'm barely alive. They said, it'd be something to enjoy, but I'm not sure about being a cowboy. Been dreaming a lot about my old dog, Rex. Funny, never dreamed once about my ex. I regret the day I married that Faye, but I just had to get away. I was an impetuous young jerk. She was a real piece of work. My marriage was poorly planned. It was all based on a one-night stand. Got mud in my boots and dirt in my jeans, and I'm getting tired of wieners and beans. Faye was noisier than all these darn cattle. One wrong word became an all-night battle. Faye started as a wild one-night whirl. Mom said, find yourself a good Christian girl. Oh, well, Mom, you sure did try, but I'm a really stubborn guy. I felt head over heels in love. God must have been laughing from above. Yep, I can honestly say I regret the day I married Faye. Now I wonder if I'll survive this darn old cattle drive. I got mud in my boots and dirt in my jeans. I'm getting tired of wieners and beans. I don't like eating that daily dust diet, but at night it's so beautifully quiet. It's nice to be away from the sound of cars, to just lay back and stare up at the stars. You don't even miss your car when you witness a shooting star. This must be what the caveman felt, staring up at the stars in Orion's belt. Got mud in my boots and dirt in my jeans and getting tired of wieners and beans. Not sure I'm going to survive this darn old cattle drive. The cowboys like Shawshank Redemption and Forrest Gump. They also like Alec Jones and President Trump. Got mud in my jeans and dirt in my jeans, and I got mud in my shoes and dirt in my jeans, and I'm getting tired of wieners and beans. And I'm not sure I'm going to survive this darn old cattle drive. Our foreman says, "Boys, it's Abilene or bust." That means eating more beans and eating more dust. So I really do sadly regret the day that I married that girl, Faye. Got mud in my boots and dirt in my jeans, and I'm getting tired of wieners and beans. And I'm not sure I'm going to survive this darn old cattle drive. Thank you. Yeah, good one.
That's a theatrical device. We shout. During the zoo poem, I was definitely going Curious George. Did you guys? Was that a big influence for you all? Curious George.
Yeah, kind of.
Hopefully that
yeah.
wasn't redacted along with some of the Dr. Zeus. I don't know.
They redacted.
You never had a drink. That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome, little sister. How are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you. We missed you for a couple months. Deb is one of our longtime contributors, and last month Greg had a bug, so that's what we're thinking, eh?
Oh, that's right. We were both sick.
Oh, dear. Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you're back.
Yeah, it wasn't so much.
Welcome.
Chance to read, that's what that was.
That's it.
Yeah. So this is from an essay I'm working on about friendship, and it doesn't have a title yet. I remember the freedom that summer on the quarter section of mostly brush and muskeg, running around crazy with my freckly-faced cousin. We were invincible, me and boy cousin, him who sprung me from the deadly lonely and took us on wild adventures where the couldn't do became completely possible, at least for a while. Teeny boppers and puberty wannabes, we were 12 years old, still children mostly. Until he arrived for his 2-week stay, I'd been thinking I'd only get to sport my pink two-piece with the frilly swim skirt at Pigeon Lake, a smallish body of brownish water, with a crowded beach 1 hour's drive from the farm. That swimsuit was 3 years old and still fit, you figure it out. And speaking of the couldn't do, on the second day, boy cousin was with me. He found us a better place to swim. Not far from the road, an underground stream filtered through sandstone into the spring where we drew our drinking water. Boy cousin and I started there, and we'd followed the stream towards the beaver pond. I liked to wander, generally on my own, but had never been off path in this area before. We didn't have far to go through knee-high marsh grass before we discovered a pool of the clearest water you could imagine, with a thick log damming the farthest edge. Boy cousin was first to cross the fat, slippery log. I'd followed uneasy, sure I was going to slip off and break something. I was known for such accidents, falling out of trees and barns, tripping on pitchforks. I had history, but he crossed, so I did too, and later, when we turned what had been a bridge into a bench and sat on the log, dangling our legs into cool water, he'd declared it the all-time perfect spot for swimming. For 3 solid days, we spent the swelter of the afternoon in our swimming hole, dropping off the log into the water. The banks of the pool were too muddy and slippery for entering and exiting. On the last day, we pulled ourselves up onto the log. We'd swam a long time, my body temperature had dropped, and sitting there on the log, shivering, I'd noticed a blackish, worm-like thing clinging to my forearm. When I plucked it off, there was blood. Something about boy cousin made me reckless. We had scorcher days that summer. The air seemed to shimmer off the hard earth. More days than not, I'd be in cutoffs and a tank top with flip-flops on my feet, slowly forming blisters on the insides of my big toes. Being foolishly unaware of my vulnerabilities was its own brand of fun. But seriously, a person ought to know, don't you think, when the black flies and mosquitoes have called a halt to all activity and taken cover in the shade? It's too hot to be out in the sun. We wandered mostly in the cooler forest, still drawn to areas near the beaver pond, although we'd given up on the idea of swimming. I'd confessed how I'd always wanted a treehouse, ever since I'd seen the Walt Disney movie called Swiss Family Robinson. Boy cousin agreed it was a worthy pursuit, and we didn't let the fact that we had neither the energy nor the know-how stop us from doing what we wanted. We hatched idiot schemes and shortcuts, trying first to dislodge a rotting canoe from the muddy banks of the beaver pond. That sunken boat, turned gray from neglect, had been stuck there since we'd bought the farm 5 years earlier, and likely much longer, and still we were convinced we could pry it out of the mud, carry it through the forest, and hoist it into the trees using ropes. A little work for big results, so we thought. How many parts of this plan were impossible? I smile now to think of it, the freedom of our imagination and the audacity of it. No limits at all. Can you imagine? When the first scheme failed before it started, we continued looking for easy options, strolling through the muskeg turned crunchy underfoot from the summer heat wave. I don't remember which one of us discovered it, how some of the pine trees were dead. Thin and sickly, you could give them a push and they'd topple over. Easy to harvest, we told ourselves, light to carry. Then we noticed the ants crawling all over the decomposing skinny trunks of the toppled trees and decided we'd better find a different building material for our treehouse. We spent the whole morning looking, first the forest and then the barnyard, where we discovered an abandoned stack of rough-cut boards. The grass had grown up around the pile, hiding it from view a few feet from the rusted sawmill left by the previous owner. Thick moss covered the exposed ends of the wood. Perfect, we thought. We'll use this. After a couple days' work, we had ourselves a platform. Never mind the gaps between the boards, or the mostly bent-over nails, because, let's face it, neither of us was any use when it came to a hammer. Whatever. We thought it was a fine treehouse, just right. And who needed a roof when we already had the shade of the trees? The open air would be cooler. Before celebrating, we set about protecting our hideout. Last thing we wanted was for parents or siblings, other than the one sister we'd already invited to join us, to find our treehouse. Boy cousin knew how to tie slip knots, so we gathered binder twine, which he cut into suitable lengths using his pocket knife, and he hid booby traps under dead leaves where a person's foot might get snagged if they happened to follow the thin path that led to the treehouse. If the first trap didn't get them, the second or third would. We were sitting on the platform, boy cousin, sister, and me, drinking juice from plastic cups and eating bologna sandwiches, when we heard a crack and the side on which I sat collapsed to the ground, causing me to land hard on a rusty nail. The boards that had been exposed to the elements for who knows how long had started to rot. My teeny bopper butt needed a tetanus shot for the puncture wound. When I decided to write about my earliest friendships, boy cousin came first to mind. He was one of several my age, and those boys were my first real friends. Sure, there were girls, like the ones I walked to school with most of the time, except on the days they decided it'd be fun to ditch me and hide along the route to school, tittering as I walked by, sad and alone. Or the other one who lived down the street and played with me until she decided randomly that she didn't want to play with me anymore and refused to talk to me. Many of my most meaningful relationships, the ones that tell me who I am and who I want to be have been with friends. The freedom to be adventurous, the safety of a hideaway, open imperfection, swimming with the bloodsuckers, audacity.
B-Ron, where is he? Your mother's calling you. Oops. Oh, takes him a while to get his notes together. It's nice to see new people, and I should share the rules of engagement with you. Basically, it's 5 minutes to do whatever you like. You read something you've written or your favorite writings by somebody else, or speak a song. There's not really any censorship engagement going on. Sometimes you might encounter some slightly bombastic material, which might have happened last month, maybe. And we had about 6 new readers, predominantly women, and I think they were slightly thrown off. But I hope they'll come back, because that's all I'll say about that. Shh. Oh, hi, Byron.
You know, I came here planning on
You did?
singing a sea shanty,
Oh.
and I can't do that anymore.
No, I don't think it's about the singing. I think, John, it's about instruments, really. It's a different engagement.
Oh, so
The other, you could sing. I
it's
don't
just-
mind. We
it's
don't mind
just-
singing, really.
It's just kind of tonal speaking.
Yeah. I'm not adverse to singing on this evening.
Okay.
I think it's the other thing of actually plugging in and playing instruments, because they do that all the other Tuesdays of the month, and that's quite an exciting thing if you're a player. That's not the right phrase. If you're if you play music, definitely come out on the Tuesday nights, what's called dress rehearsal, and we're sort of like the icing on the cake of each month. The
Bill.
last Tuesday. Hi.
Bill, your demonstrativeness is so sweet. This affection in public a treat. And I do love a tease. But dear Bill, would you please squeeze my hand, not my ass, in the street?
Oh. Byron Miller, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Men want gals with round buns, firm and spanky, set atop shapely legs, long and lanky. Though saddlebags flanky and cellulite skanky don't seem to deter hanky-panky. Okay. To his harem at noon cooed the Swami. For our lunch we'll have Ryan pastrami. Then recline for a rest, at which time I'll suggest hold the onions and hide the salami. So, there's an intro to a book of limericks where they say that a limerick should reflect the socio-sexual anxieties of the age. So that's what you try to do, I think. Okay. Okay, now for a departure. Just a simple poem here. This is a poem that plays around with the idea of overheard language. This was a prompt from a poem a day thing in April of 2023. Between two stations. Sitting across from me on the noisy subway, 2 young women were in conversation, their foreheads gently bumping with the motion of our conveyance. I don't know what they were saying, or even if it was in my first language, but the delight was obvious. I only overheard their smiles. Okay, here's a prompt. This was day 26. A prompt for today asks you to write a portrait poem that focuses on or plays with the meaning of the subject's name. So I have a friend named Ken Gordon, who's a very successful double lung transplant recipient. He got it done in 2022, and he's going strong. And Ken is Ken. He, well, when he worked, I found out that at work they had nicknamed him Wiki Ken. Because, anyway, so Ken Gordon. This is called In the Benevolent Shade of the Garden of Knowledge. He's been a good friend of mine for 50 years. So. In the Benevolent Shade of the Garden of Knowledge. To ken is to know, and to know Ken is to know he knows a thing or two about knowing things and knowing how to care for them. He builds a spacious fort, a Gordon, and all the world around it is a garden where seeds of friendship and community sprout and thrive, and companion planting networks come alive. And if a transplant's recommended, where risks involved, he'll take that on. He'll tend to that and watch new roots take hold, watch growth far better than before unfold. He's a great networker. Yeah. So, okay, there's lots of people tonight, so I'll get right to the last bit. So, as you know, a couple of days ago in Puerto Vallarta, there was an incident that required staying at home. What's it called? What in place? What did they say? Sheltering in place, hunkering down, that sort of thing. And there's the kind of a lockdown situation. So one of the prompts that in 2023 was to write a sea shanty. So it kind of relates to this because it's called Davy Jones's Lockdown. Davy Jones's Lockdown. Running down wind to Puerto Vallarta, picked up a virus from the captain's daughter. Now I'm not fit to be cannon fodder early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises, buxom wench with pillowy thighs. Billows me for sail out 3 sizes early in the morning. What shall we do with the captain's daughter? What shall we do with the captain's daughter? What shall we do with the captain's daughter early in the morning? Settle her below in the boatswain's quarters, settle her below in the boatswain's quarters, settle her below in the boatswain's quarters early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises, buxom wench with pillowy thighs. Billow me forth a sail out 3 sizes early in the morning. Swore on the Bible to the Heavenly Father, gave me word I'd do what I oughter. Quarantined with the captain's daughter early in the morning. Way, hey, and up she rises, buxom wench with pillowy thighs. Billows me for sail out 3 sizes early in the morning. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, Byron. Oh, I finally got the last line. Billows me out.
Billows me for sail.
Billows me for sale. Is that a metaphor? Jane, come on up. You still there? Thank you. This is, I feel a wonderful night already. The thing I know that's going to keep me up in the middle of the night is I'm going to think, why the heck was he called Wiki Ken? Little announcement while Jane's making her way here. We have this lovely gal that comes out, friend of Deb's. Her name's Marta, formerly of Holland. They don't say Holland, really, do they? Do you Dutch people say Holland? Mary? Netherlands, sorry. She's having a reading on Sunday, March 1st, 2026, from 4:30 to 5:30 to celebrate a writing journey with children's author Martha. It's Marta, isn't it?
Yeah, it is March.
Okay, Marta Atama. At the Blue Caterpillar Emporium. Anybody know where it is? Cobble Hill?
Yes.
Is it in the village?
It's
Cobble Hill Road.
It's
it
next
says.
to the antique store.
Oh, right there in the center.
Mhm.
Okay. At the Blue Caterpillar Emporium, 3541 Cobble Hill Road. Tickets by donation. Register at Eventbrite. Part of the donations will be used to sponsor the Northern Spotted Owl Breeding Program in Langley, BC. So if you're free on Sunday, March 1st, go out and support Sunday, March 1st. Thank you. Support Marta Atama. She's a lovely lady and a wonderful story writer, teller. Thank you. Jane, where do you hail from?
Well, I was born in Prince Rupert,
No way.
but I moved to Duncan when I was 9.
Oh,
So I feel like I hail from here, but I haven't
Right.
lived here as an adult since I graduated high school.
Ooh.
So I moved back in September, and
where did you go after
Yeah.
high school?
I went to UVic. I lived in Victoria for a year, and then I dropped out for the first time, and then I went tree planting for the first time, and that kind
Sweet.
of created a spiral of
Good.
where else did I live? Vancouver,
Yeah.
Tofino,
You're a real BC woman. You've
Nanaimo.
done it all.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, I would say I'm a BC girl through and through.
Rupert
yeah.
was so impressive. What's the town if you're going east towards Rupert? There's the town before Rupert.
Port Ed,
What?
Port Alberni.
Port
No.
Edward,
No, that's Port Alberni is here.
Terrace.
Terrace.
Yeah.
Yeah, so beautiful. And that
Yeah.
there's the drive beside the river and the
Yeah,
mountains, and
the
that's one of the
Skenas.
most beautiful drives I think in BC.
Yeah, it
And
really
Rupert
is.
certainly has its own feeling, doesn't it? The port town, and it's isolated. And
Yeah.
is it a good town to grow up in?
Yeah, I would say
Nice.
so. Yeah, I feel like a real connection there when I go back. And
Nice.
going back in March,
Good.
gonna go visit my grandparents. Yeah.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
welcome to Flow.
Thank you. Thanks. So I'll preface this with, I'm a tree planter. I've planted for 8 seasons. I haven't stopped since I graduated high school, but I'm really trying to stop. I'm really trying to retire. I went on a big traveling journey last year, and I did my last season, and I have to say it wasn't like my most exciting season. I felt like everything kind of sucked, but there was no novelty to how much it sucked. I was just like, the heat's not new, the bugs are not new. So anyways, I moved back to Duncan. I didn't know where I would live after my travels, but I decided Duncan mostly because I got a job, and I was like, well, sure, let's go. So I'm working at a alternate school in Duncan called Westview Learning, where I am teaching kids creative writing, and the kids are on the autism spectrum disorder, and so they're really teaching me a lot. And my degree's in creative writing, so anyways, I'm not trying to gas myself up. I'm still very much like a practicing writer. But anyways, one project I started in my degree was my memoir about tree planting. So now that I'm officially retired, hold me to it. I'm really trying to get back to this writing and really commit to doing it. So this is a little excerpt from my 3rd season, tree planting. They say learn, burn, earn. They say your first season is all learning. Your second is all burning, just really, really trying. And then your third is when you're kind of okay, I can do it. So I came into my 3rd season really hot, I'm going to do it. I'm going to ball. I'm going to make money. I'm going to be good at this job finally. But that season was the first year of COVID. So there was God, it was weird. It felt like we were kind of living in this small bubble, and the apocalypse was happening outside. Anyways, it was a wild and weird season. It also was so long because everyone was just losing motivation, and it was really hot. And anyways, so this is a small excerpt from that season, which I like to call the never-ending season because it just felt like it was literally never going to end. I read this to one of my students today. I haven't read it to many people. It's something very new that I've been working on the last couple of weeks, and she was like, I don't know, it kind of drags on. Kind of feel like you lost the plot at some point. I was like, oh, okay. So anyways, I hope your feedback is better, but we'll see. I haven't really edited it since, so anyways. This is me in my third season with my my partner at the time, and we're rolling up to our last camp of that season. So I'm in bad spirits to start, just to say. We drag ourselves to the final camp of the season with the promise of just 2 shifts to go until official freedom. It's not 5 minutes after arriving in camp, which is located half an hour outside of a little town called Gizcum, that all hopes are dashed on the spot. The second we groggily step out of planting trucks and personal vehicles, there isn't a planter not covered head to toe in blood-sucking vampires. Panic rises in my chest. I start smacking, the pinpricks of bites coming up all over my body. The air is hot, thick with humidity and ravenous mosquitoes. There are more mosquitoes than even the lifetime planters have encountered. My ears ring, my skin itches. I think I hear somebody scream. Bug spray doesn't seem to faze these buggers. They're too strong, too hungry. They've been waiting for us. We go can after can in attempt to merely set up our tents, go through can after can of spray in attempt to merely set up our tents. There's nowhere to escape to. Planter lore has it that most of the times the bugs are asleep at the beginning of the season. It isn't till the end of spring that they wake up, and even then it's a lazy, docile generation that hasn't sharpened their skills of blood-sucking just yet. But by the end of summer, it's as though they've been passed down a season's worth of biting and flesh-gnawing through generations for primed feeding. Their long spike of a nose finds its way through seemingly impossible fabrics, sneaking under shirts and onto necks, through socks and parts of people's hair. I'm incredibly distressed going to bed that night. Dave and I, that's my partner, spend a good 15 minutes killing all the mosquitoes that have snuck their way into our tent in the 10 seconds it took us to get in. We quickly develop a method of standing for a moment about 5 meters away from our tent, gathering ourselves for a quick plan of attack, and then going for it. Okay, ready? I say. We nod at one another and make our descent upon the tent. Quick, quick, I yell with wild urgency, panting, my heart beating in my ears as Dave unzips the fly, then the door. We dive in as fast as we can, clambering on top of one another. Close it, I yell as Dave, in his haste, fumbles with the zipper. I'm already behind him in the small tent, clapping away at dozens of mosquitoes that have found their way in. I feel a lump rise in my throat as my heart pounds away and my hands clap at bugs. I am so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. When I was a kid, my family would spend time at my grandparents' acreage in Smithers. I had 0 tolerance for bugs. A few mosquito bites and I was driving my parents to the brink of madness. Eventually, they found an answer to their prayers in an anti-itch bug bite patches, of which I spent most of the summer covered in. My mom would cut the little patches into hearts and stars, so I had an air of what felt like real style to my 4-year-old self. And that 4-year-old self was incredibly stylish, if by nothing but her own standards. My parents had long ago given up on arguing my choices of mismatched abstract outfits, as they were always made complete by yellow gumboots during all seasons of the year. Indeed, the orange hearts plastered to my face were on brand with the rest of my typical look. My favorite pajama top that had grown too small, a purple frilly skirt. As long as I was comfortable with thoughts of color happening, I was in style as far as I was concerned. My utter intolerance for bugs was the main reason my parents expressed concern for me surviving my early seasons. You know, there's a lot of bugs in the bush, Jane, like a lot of bugs, they'd say to me. I shrugged off their concern, convinced that nothing could compare to the torture of my first year of university, not even bugs. To most, a tent with its thin mesh and complicated pole configuration would not be anything special, and certainly not anything akin to a safe haven. A tent for the layperson is perhaps considered a rustic or even reserved for the unhoused, but when you're planting, one's tent becomes their home. The tent is a space away from bugs and as much away from the elements as one can get. If a planter is lucky enough to have a vehicle to sleep in, that becomes equivalent to a mansion, a palace, if you will. Though there are unique challenges to a vehicle setup as well. Mice and more sneaky holes for bugs to creep in, to name a couple, not to mention the limited choice in parking. Yet the intricacies of a tent are not to be overlooked. The placement of one tent sheltered from rain in the spring and shadowed from heat in the summer is of the utmost importance. There were times we'd roll up to camps that were nothing more than gravel pits, and people would stumble from trucks, clambering over one another to find the few prime spots that might be sprinkled in tree lines of barren camps. The tent, oh, the tent, simultaneously sanctuary and prison in buggy times. When the safe and comfortable place is a 4-person tent you share with a partner, and each time you unzip the door to your home, you spend 10 or more minutes to kill every bug that snuck in, only to realize after the killing spree, you have to pee. One's mental health is bound for disarray. I was really feeling, with the supposed 3 shifts left, that I may come to an end before the season officially would. That's all.
That is a hard hard job from all I've heard. Marcus. Jane reminded me that my first job after going through Katimavik and traveling in Europe was to work as an EA back in my hometown of Brantford. And there were several kids in the spectrum in the classroom I was in. And nobody knew anything about autism in 1981. You know, I mean, we were really daft about it and did a lot of things that you should not do. But I did the teacher said, do you want to do a class? And I said, yes. So I had the kids recite a story, like just tell me a story. And I wrote it out in English. And I asked them if they wanted to write it out as they understood it. And then they did an accompanying picture. And I put it together in a book. I laminated them all, so all got sent home to their parents. And I was so proud of that damn book. That was so much fun. I missed my life of book publishing. What happened, Mark?
You were talking about your erection earlier, so
That's what distracted me, you're thinking?
no, but I had heart surgery last
Oh, yeah.
like a week ago.
He's a wonder boy.
And then I was staying at Heart House down in Victoria,
Yes.
and I went to bed that night, and I was up probably 9 times to go pee,
Right.
and did sleep the last 3 or 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the curious things that happened was, like, I had so many erections during the night, Bill. I felt like I was 18 again. I was like, what the hell just happened?
It was the medication?
I don't know what it was. No, because I stopped taking meds. So I don't know.
The blood was just so happy.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like because they go in your femoral artery, which is way down there, that your penis senses this may be the last time.
That makes complete sense.
So
Mark
I wasn't
River.
going to talk about it, but you brought up your erection, so I thought I'd bring up mine. Today, my wife is menopausal, and today we were driving in the car, and she said to me, I don't know, you know how when you're getting menopausal, sometimes you lose nouns. You lose nouns. So she was in the car, and she said, I took some round things from the freezer so that you can eat lunch. And I said, you mean circles? Anyhow, 5 minutes. Bill, this is the one time that I just found something, and I thought, man, this is like this. I wrote this 30 years ago, and I just think that it's important because it might be a little over 5 minutes. I'm going to get on with it. So this goes back to Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. 30 years ago, I was a young baker. I was apprenticing in Prince Albert, and I was really, in a short space of time, tight with a particular artist. And this is about him and me. There are days when Miles McDonald tells me that he hates painting. There are even weeks of days that he hates painting, and yet I'll listen to him explain in a voice grown weary that unless he paints, there won't be any new works to show, and without those, he may just as well give up hope at all of supporting his family. The waterfowl that flock near the studio makes a quacking sound as they pass over us, headed towards the slough. It is cold outside. Inside the studio are about a dozen different varieties of plants, most pressed along the windowsill, others along a work desk. My favorite is the red pepper plant onto whose vine hangs one fruit, a blossomy red pepper. Next to it, a coffee can, the brand discontinued with brushes in it. More plants and more cans, more discontinued brands. Beside it filled with more brushes, and beside these, some pieces of glass prized more for their shape than instrument. McDonald stands in front of a large canvas. Because of the size of the canvas, he divides his time, focusing his energy on a wheat field, other times the tree line, other times the sky. Each painting is several different paintings, in fact. The studio provides a shelter from the wind, but it will be an hour or so before we are warm. The wood stove heats the studio slowly. I don't know how he can do it. I've been struggling with my decision to become a writer. I didn't. I can't believe that I have enough to say, that I can say it well enough. He says to me that I should stay in Prince Albert. Stay and write, he says. Write about what, I think? What could I possibly have to say? At his home north of Prince Albert, I learned that I was but one of hundreds who had come to see his art, the meticulous brushstrokes of his prairie landscapes, images of weeds and poplar trees at the edges of fields, sloughs, and ever magnificent skies. He refers to them as marginalia, and in a world where progress is noted by plowed fields and paved streets, he sees himself as a recorder, a maker of images evocative of nostalgia for a fast vanishing visual paradise. The rural folk, some none too sophisticated passerbys, like his art because it is representative, while other artists who know him well secretly wish that he would loosen up. Go wild, knock something off quickly instead of the months, even years he takes to finish a large canvas. He tells me that he likes the idea, or at least he likes the idea of doing something different. It would be the kind of change to inspire the aging painter. At work in his studio, he listens to the morning news on the CBC. He scowls at the unending supply of corrupt politicians violating the public trust and wonders whether he might make a successful commentary on the dissolution he feels by just painting garbage. Not bad painting, you understand, but wall-sized canvases of the actual rot and filth that ends up in the landfill. Writing fills me with passion, breath, and life, setting me adrift upon a wave of measureless ocean. But I'm a horrible writer. I have no discipline. Clement Greenberg, the New York art critic who became so popular here in Canada, was once asked if he had any advice to offer young artists. Marry well, he said. The reality is that few artists have a reputation so great as to afford them a decent living. MacDonald, while having exhibited at the Mendel in Saskatoon and the Nancy Poole Gallery in Toronto, is accustomed to modest living. The farmhouse he and his wife live in is the result of an inheritance, and the truck MacDonald drives is more than 20 years old. If it breaks down, then he may not have the money to get it fixed. The romance of being an artist involves so much scrounging that the ones who make it are invariably miserly. And that is one reason why I've struggled with any encouragement to write. Scrounging is now so much a part of MacDonald's character that when there is a choice between spending hard-earned cash and saving it, the decision is almost always made to save it. His children need clothes for school, money for books. At one time, MacDonald dove into dumpsters looking for anything he might sell to buy paint. And as trees are plentiful and heating oil costs money, he now chops and hauls his own firewood to heat the studio in winter. Every spring, he tries his hand at gardening. In detail, he explains how he plants and waters the onions, tends to them nurturingly, thinking that what goes around comes around, especially in an onion, and how his hope gives way to disappointment season after season, each year repeating the tale of all that he has done and all which that toiling yielded. On occasions where he and Meg gather friends together for a special meal, the chandelier above the dining room table is lit with wax candles. Colin and Sarah, their children, elbow at one another, and when at last the meal is finished, Miles casts a look overhead, keeping an eye on each candle, waiting for the last flickering flame, which, when it expels, he tenderly replaces with another candle lit from one of those still burning. It is another example of his economy. He and his wife Meg are often scraping the barrel, which makes the richness of the dinner scene an irony. Meg told me of the time when Sarah's kitten got stuck between the porch and the house. The creature would have died there, and maybe Miles could have lived with that. But he fetched the crowbar anyway and pried the wooden boards of the deck loose. The kitten ran free, and the next thing she knew, her husband was stretching his arm through a gap in the boards to find a coin he had lost the previous spring. I know it's in here somewhere, he explained. As a want-to-be writer, I struggle to reconcile their supposedly impoverished state with a house that is filled with books and paintings. In that one respect, there are many homes in nicer parts of the country which seem a great deal poorer. But I realized that it was one of MacDonald's unsold canvases that serve as the backdrop to the dining room table. It is of a man and a woman sitting nude in front of a lake, the woman contemplative, basking in the warmth of sunlight, the man sitting on a rock beside her, pulling at something which is lodged between his toes. Miles has told me that men are often given to ask why the man is in the scene, which he has taken to mean why the man's flaccid penis is there. Women, he says, respond differently. They describe the painting as natural, compelling, romantic. Nevertheless, he says, nudes are a difficult sell. Before any of our conversations was complete, he would fill me with directions. Mark, he says, take a trip into town and go to the stationery store. When you get there, buy an artist's sketchbook, a 2H pencil, and a soft eraser. And, I asked, start sketching, he said. As he explained it, my abilities as a writer would be enhanced by any talent I developed as an artist. On our next visit, I told him that sketching was hard, that I was giving it up. Another time I told him I was told to visit a certain church in Red Deer, which had, he said, the most magnificent organ upon which I was to hear performed several cantatas by Bach, Mozart, you name it. Miles said he played the piano, though not very well. He felt I needed a certain amount of stretching and offered himself as a mentor. What will I do, I asked. What will I write? Here I was looking at someone poorer than me, but richer than me, and whose advice was that I would find what to write when I did nothing but write. He told me that to get better, you just write. Sometime later, I phoned him. I've written about you, Miles. I need to know what you think, he said after listening to me speak what I had written. After listening to hear me speak, he said what I had written was grossly inaccurate. What's inaccurate, I asked. Well, he said, I don't chop firewood. I use a handsaw. Your point is, I asked. You make me sound like a woodsman. Okay, I said, what else? Well, I didn't dive into dumpsters to buy paint. Then what did you do, I asked. He explained how he dove into dumpsters so that Meg and him could put some more money into their bank account. We were trying to qualify for a mortgage, he said. Moot point, I said. You didn't use any of that money to buy paint? None of it, he said. Okay, I said, I'll change it. I paused for a moment. You know, Miles, it's not nearly so symbolic to the listeners if I say it that way. Yeah, he says, I suppose you're right. You still struggle as an artist. You still struggle to make ends meet, and you could have raised money by choosing to take a job. Yes, he sighed, but you know, Mark, Meg and I don't see it that way at all. I think they'll understand that, Miles, I replied. Then I began to consider the early canvases he had shown me. If we had known each other back then, I'm sure I would have discouraged him. They were, in my opinion, really quite awful. It took years, literally, for his talent as a painter to develop. If I was going to develop as a writer, and I did not, I could not become abject about criticism. Those early writings of mine may or may not have the life of later canvases, but the only way to get there is simply by doing and continuing. If I'm fortunate, I may still marry well, and that combined with doing and continuing may someday make me a very successful person indeed. So that was 30 years ago, I think, that I wrote that. But this gal here, she's talking about writing and stuff like that. I mean, you always have these different junctures, points of your life where you could take this road, or you could take this road, or this road. You've got all sorts of choices.
Thank you, brother. Glad you're well. Whoa. That's Mark. He survived surgery. Yay! That's right. You should get applause for that. My friend Mary's coming up. Where did she go? She's not hiding, is she? Mary is a fellow thespian and my little sister, and sometimes we fight like siblings, which is really fun.
We did it today.
No, not really. It's very humanizing, and Mary's a very humble person.
He called me an acolyte.
Acolyte. I misused the word. I didn't even know what that meant.
The worst part
What's it?
is that you called me an acolyte in writing, well, in a text.
I did, yeah. What does it mean?
Without
She said-
meaning to be offensive.
She's still
and I
upset.
was still offended. And I actually couldn't respond. I said, "Can you call me when you have a few minutes?"
She did. It was tense.
And then I got really mad.
She was
and
mad.
what happened after that?
You calmed down after 10 minutes.
He apologized like 8 or 10 times. And I said, "It's okay, stop apologizing. You didn't actually do anything wrong. I'm not actually being reasonable. I just don't want to be called an acolyte."
I think I thought it meant like keen new learner person.
Yeah,
But
that
it's
made it
nothing
worse,
like
by the
that.
way.
Did it?
Yeah,
Oh.
yet to come.
Thanks. Good thing I got myself out of that one. Anyway,
No, you didn't.
I say something quick before I go because
Yeah, say your thing.
say your little thing. What a great sister. Yeah. Anyway, I just want to say she is quite humble. And last year she played Cleopatra, and it was just brilliant, like a very beautiful, deep portrayal. So yes, you got it, kid. I know you didn't want to
Thank you.
have any accolades. Is that the right word? But Mary Gallagher.
Thank you, Bill. I am really sorry I was so unreasonable about. I mean, what's in a word? This is always my problem coming to flow. I kind of flip out a little bit. Like I actually didn't go to another event that I was requested to be at and said I couldn't because I had to be somewhere else, which was here tonight. We don't need to go back and do it. Let's just leave it. I'm a little emotional today. I don't know why. I've done other crazy things. I cried about my blue paint and saw my best friend from high school that I hadn't seen, and even though she lives in this area, and it was really nice. Like really nice things happened today and crazy things. And I do flip out about this moment that happens once a month, and for me like every 3 months, because it seems that's when I'm around. But I love it. I love the things that you said about bugs, because oh my goodness, Jane, yes, that's the reason I would never go tree planting, is I'm so afraid of bugs. I hate them. I have a horrible temper. The last time I was hiking with my child, who was a teenager, and the guy leading the hike, we know each other quite well, kind of like Bill and I, except no, I don't try and be that much nicer to him either. Anyway, we were going along, and it was very hard for hours and hours. It was the hardest hike I've ever done, Stein Traverse. It was 9 days, and lots of bugs, but more just heat. And we got stuck under the tree line in the first 3 days where there had been fires about 8 years before, and so the bushes were 8 feet high or so. And we were just getting eaten. And we were lost, and the kilometers were all wrong, and some people had lost water bottles. There were just for dehydration. I was like, we're going to die. And then he said, well, maybe we should just camp here, because we were hiking in the dark. I've never done that before. We've never been that stupid before to be hiking with headlamps, right? And he said, well, maybe we should just, and like I see my daughter, 17 years old, huddled, they brought their tent out just to huddle away from the bugs while they were waiting for a decision. And that was when you've never seen a temper like, well, Bill has seen that temper. I said, no, we're not. We are not staying in this hellhole for any length of time. Let's go. And so I was like, okay, I guess we're going. And that was it. We left. And then we found a place to stay, and it was actually quite nice. I think we ate macaroni. Another nice thing that happened today, I saw someone that I don't even know his name, but for whatever reason, he opened up to me. He wanted to have, he saw me. We saw each other at the garage and had coffee, and he told me all about his struggles. And what I wanted originally, I had heard earlier this week a phrase that we always hear, knowledge is power. And he said, the speaker, he said, knowledge, is that really the power? Does knowing something make you more able to do anything about it? No, there's lots of things I know about myself, but clearly I'm still feeling crazy. And he said, no, love is power. I thought, oh, well, how is it power? Like, is it power like love is such a loaded word. Is it power like in politics or in playing chess and checkmate? Like, no, that doesn't make sense. Is it like a rock that's just there? I mean, maybe sometimes. I mean, yes, but it's also more like water in a certain way if it was power. Like, I was thinking about power to generate and regenerate and to flow past things that are jagged and make them smooth, and the power of the ocean to keep going every single moment for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And I came across this little story. I'm sure my time's almost up. I'm sure I've talked long enough. I read it as a child, didn't get it at all. I just thought, that is the saddest thing I've ever read. What is that all about? And then I read it with my daughter and my ex-husband a few years ago, and we were all like really quiet when we finished. It was so, we were all just thinking. Anyway, I'll just read a tiny little excerpt. The skin horse had lived longer in the nursery than any of the others. He was so old that his brown coat was bald in patches and showed the seams underneath, and most of the hairs in his tail had been pulled out to string bead necklaces. He was wise, for he had seen a long succession of mechanical toys arrive to boast and swagger, and by break their mainsprings and pass away, and he knew that they were only toys and would never turn into anything else. For nursery magic is very strange and wonderful, and only those playthings that are old and wise and experienced, like the skin horse, understand all about it. But what is real? Asked the rabbit one day, when they were lying side by side near the nursery fender, before Nana came to tidy the room. Does it mean having things that buzz inside you and a stick-out handle? Real isn't how you're made, said the skin horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a very long time, not just to play with, but really loves you, then you become real. Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit. Sometimes, said the skin horse, for he was always truthful. When you're real, you don't mind being hurt. Does it happen all at once? Like being wound up, he asked, or bit by bit? It doesn't happen all at once, said the skin horse. You become. It takes a long time, like writing. That's why it doesn't often happen to people who break easily or have sharp edges or have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you're real, most of your hair has been loved off and your eyes drop out and you get loose in the joints and very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you're real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. I suppose you are real? Said the rabbit. And then he wished he had not said it, for he thought the skin horse might be sensitive. but the skin horse only smiled. The boy's uncle made me real, he said. That was a great many years ago. But once you're real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always. And there was another little bit. But maybe there wasn't. Anyway, maybe that is it. Bill, you're very real to me. And I do love you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, maybe if I said that word again, we could recreate the scene in Cleopatra where I, as the servant, bring the news that Antony's married to another woman, and Mary, as Cleopatra, beat the heck out of me. And we both derived a lot of pleasure from that scene. Says something about me. Andrew, what do you think? Sure. You feeling it? Come on up. All right. Another new addition to the family. You gonna fit in with these crazy people, I know. What else was I gonna say? Maybe nothing. Thank you, Mary. Andrew, how are you?
Good.
Welcome. Are you from the Duncan?
I live just south of Nanaimo.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've been an islander for long?
10 years.
Neat. Where are you from?
Originally northeastern Ontario.
Ooh, another Ontarian. Near Timmins?
Like 20 minutes from Timmins.
See?
Yeah.
Do you two know each other?
No.
No. Well, welcome to the island. And where did your love of writing come from?
I don't really know. I just kind of throw together poems for friends and stuff over the years. I've never actually recited anything in front of anybody. So
Nice. Well, welcome. We're a friendly bunch, and
yeah, I hope so.
I hope you. Yeah, we are.
Bar's set pretty high here, so
No,
don't have any
no.
expectations. But
Welcome. What's your last name?
Derache in French. Derache.
Oh, lovely name.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome, Andrew.
Cool. Thanks for having me. I gotta find. Yeah, so nobody's ever said that I was any good, so here we go. I wrote a poem called Smile Lines. Some call them wrinkles. I see them as sprinkles of happiness and joy built up over time. I smile more than I frown. I see it as a good sign. Sharing good vibes with the world around me, contagious it is to live so freely. Walking through life with no anger or fear, smiling from ear to ear. Some say you can't just be happy all the time, but I say if you look in the right direction, positivity is what you'll find. Yes, life is challenging and full of adversity, but I can let things go and forgive those who hurt me. What if you saw the world as a beautiful place, everyone walking around with a smile on their face, rocking the wrinkles as they move through their day like a badge of honor, showing that they've found their way? What if instead of worrying and stressing about, you found opportunities to dance and shout? Finding things to be grateful for, learning and growing and reaching for more. And when someone around you is in a bad mood, maybe you offer them some food. So if you're like me and your smile lines are easy to see, just know that you have joy to spare. Please don't hesitate to share. Call them wrinkles or signs of getting old. I call them smile lines, a sign of a story well told. Smile lines.
Gordy, come on up. Who else? Was there anyone after Dora? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, how did I forget that? Oh my God, Laura. Sorry about that. No, it's just my brain. No, sorry. I would have put you closer to Byron because that was a great representation of musical speak singing. So no, I haven't forgot you now. I remember. Laura's coming up. Gord, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Okay. Gord's a long-time member. What did you bring?
Oh no, I'll let you know.
Brief excerpt from that. This is one you wrote, the book you wrote?
No.
Okay. You can
No.
It's a mystery.
Good evening. We sleekit cowrin timorous beastie, what a panic's in thy breastie. The need nae start away so hasty wi' bickering brattle. I would be laith to ruin and chase thee wi' murder and pattle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earthborn companion and fellow mortal. I doubt na whiles but thou may thieve. What then, poor beastie, thou maun alive? A daemon icker in a thrave, it's a small request, I'll get a blessing with a lave and never miss it. Thy wee bit housey too in ruin, it's silly, was the winds are strewing, and naething now to bring a new one, a foggage green, and bleak December's wind ensuing, baith snell and clean. Thou saw the fields laid bare and waste, and weary winter coming fast, and cozy here beneath the blast, thou thought to dwell. Till crash, the cruel culture passed out through thy cell. That wee bit heap o' leaves and stibble has cost thee money, a weary nibble. Now thou's turned out for all thy trouble, but house or hauled, to thole the winter's sleety dribble and Cranruch called. But mousie, thou art no tha lane, improving foresight may be vain. The best laid schemes o' mice and men gang after glee, and leave us naught but grief and pain for promised joy. Still thou art blessed, compare wi' me. Thy present only toucheth thee. But och, I backward cast my ee on prospects dear, and forward, though I canna see, I guess and fear. That was called To a Mouse. As Robbie Burns, when he was plowing the field, he upturned the mouse and knocked that out of its home. Oops. Anyway, that was Robbie Burns, and I thought I should have read it last month, but yeah. But anyway, an introduction to Robbie Burns. Yes, thank you.
Scottish, sorry, Gaelic. Well, don't the Scots speak Gaelic too? No, sorry. Scottish. Yeah, I emceed the last Robbie Burns Day at Vimy Hall, and I did a great job of emceeing the band, I must say. But then they asked me to read that piece that you read on well, one of his classics. And anyway, the regular people didn't notice, but two Scottish guys left the hall. So I'm sorry. Sorry, Robbie. One of our past members, Bob Norris, brilliant Bob, wrote a play about his younger years, and we still have not put it on, sadly. Mary, what was the name of that novelette? No, you're the one you read. Sorry, that was a bad segue. The Furless Rabbit. It's a child's story. I just remember that you didn't tell us the author, did you? Or Velveteen Rabbit, sorry, yeah. By whom? Marjorie Camp. Okay, thank you. And now, last but not least, the wonderful Laura, who, yes, thank you for surviving the entranceway where her beautiful handmade, I wish she would show us, but her handmade ukulele was not rejected, but steered towards another Tuesday. It's been there. And I hope you do come out on that Tuesday too and sing this piece. And thank you for, accommodating our whatever we do.
Okay.
Okay, where are you
Well,
from?
I thought about this because what I'm going to do a poem for you,
Nice. Okay.
and I thought about the name of this event, and I thought
Yeah.
I really need to go with the flow.
Ooh, way to go. Way to learn and grow.
So
okay.
I'm going to do that.
Will
This
you
is
sing the song too a cappella, or you're just
no, I'm just going to
that?
recite.
Okay.
I'm going to work at my recitation skills.
Okay. Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. So, thanks everyone. So this is a poem that I wrote. It's a historical ballad, and it's about the life of my grandfather, who was born in 1880. So he was a relatively old grandfather, and he died in 1960. This is about the first 25 years of his life. And it's called Leaving Slocan, 1905. I'm leaving Slocan. There's a pain in my heart for the ones I am leaving behind. I've spent 25 years with the trains and the mines. Alberta calls. It's a province now, I hear. When my dad signed on to the CPR, I was just a child in a Manitoba town. We followed the crews and the tracks as they grew, all the way out to Vancouver town. And that town burned down in 1886, and it sent all the people to the streets. But the trains kept running, people kept on coming, and Vancouver City rose again. I got 4 years at school, made the pen my trusty tool, wrote the stories of the people that I met. With a gold rush up north and silver to the east, we chose Slocan. The Kootenay was next. Prospectors, miners took the CPR to towns, New Denver, Sandon, Caslow, Lemon Creek. They honeycombed the hills until the silver world was filled. No miners left, no one to pay the bills. So in 1905, when springtime did arrive, I saddled up and crossed the Rockies east. No more hesitating when the future is awaiting. In Alberta, there's a boom that calls to me. And now my grandfather. Far across the rolling swale, I've watched the bison pass. I've had a ride on a lonely prairie trail. I've watched a lonely prairie trail. And then the breeze comes along, and I'm just going to do the last verse. So I shall miss the trees and the hills and streams where that mountain beauty still lives on. It's not calculated, it's just underrated. The real silver of the silvery Slocan.
Thank you, Laura. No, that was beautiful. Thank you. Very strong material. That's amazing. And that could be a song. Well, that's what she said. It's a song. And you know the only thing wrong with that song? No, not that. I didn't mean that. There was no mention of bugs. How could it be real?
But I did feel good following word because my grandfather wrote in Scots dialect.
Really?
So he was born in Canada.
Yeah, kept it alive.
I think he learned from his mother.
Nice. Thank you so much. That really was lovely. And I hope to hear you on another Tuesday when I'm tuning in and you're sitting here playing your beautiful ukulele, and that you show it to me afterwards. And George, what is it I'm going to write down from you? So something we talked about in the beginning. Because you want a connection for hockey. That's almost it is as important as writing. What are you talking about? Hockey. I didn't miss anybody? Greg? No, I'm fine. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. That was a beautiful night. Great contributions. And to those 6 ladies who came last month, see, it's usually like this. So I hope they'll come back. Yeah. And I hope you guys will return to keep it down, fella. And return to support all the wonderful shows that are put on the Duncan Showroom. Thank you very much, Dr. Ted Cadillac and Longevity John. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Oh, we go to the pub sometimes.
I feel alright just talking about it. I could be dreaming of anything. I need something that'll get me started. I want nothing if it ain't something beautiful, something true, something that'll break my heart into something beautiful. Well, the world is an engine running high. She's spitting out smoke like so undone, and I'm perfectly grateful for what I'm not. In the end, I might be nothing, but I still got you, and it's beautiful. So true. Something that'll break my heart into something beautiful. Love is a rhythm, your love is a flame. Love is a rider on a runaway train. I'm packed and ready, I wait by the tracks, and the train was blowing, but I ain't coming back. Love is a rhythm, yeah, your love is a sea.
For anyone who's still watching, this is Leroy Stagger right now. He's playing here tomorrow night. It's a sold out show, you can't come, but I will be live streaming it, so if you want to watch it, tune in.
Something true, something that'll break my heart into something beautiful, something true, something that'll break my heart into something that'll break my heart into something that'll break my heart into something beautiful. Hey.
No, I had it made. It was made in Lake Couch, and it's all local wood. It's all local wood. So it's got cedar, big leaf maple. This is Douglas fir.
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time.